do in the NBA. They wipe the floor with the bums. That's where your highlight reel stuff comes from. The Heat were great at that. When they played the bad teams, they didn't just beat them, they rolled them and ran them out of the stadium. I mean, that's what they did. And the battle is going to be when you get down to it against those tested veteran teams that aren't going to fold, that are going to make you come to them and play their game. They're not going to play your game. Now, I'll tell you, I do like the transition game for the Cavs is going to be nasty. I mean, they've got fast, young, athletic guys to get up and down the court. But I'm telling you, so did the Miami Heat, although not as much the last year as they did the first couple of years of their group. But my point is there are ways to slow those teams down. That's going to be the challenge for this Cavs team. It's not going to be figuring out how to beat 75% of the NBA. They're going to roll 75% of the NBA. That is the great NBA formula for the power teams. Where they're going to make their hay is finding out how to beat the teams that know how to come back at them, that won't beat themselves, that can not just match you with the talent, but match you with, you know, the game planning and the coaching, and then you'll have guys like Pop on the other side. And I mean, there's going to be that's the stuff that you're looking down the road to see. But yeah, I was looking up my Twitter feed and I'm like, okay, I mean, guys, you kind of knew Kevin Love could ball. You kind of knew Kyrie could ball. You kind of knew LeBron James could dunk the ball, but you'd have thought people were wondering, man, are these guys going to be able to play together? No, that's not the question. The question is, how much can they win together? Not can they play together, not can they beat most of the NBA, because this team without a coach can be dropped on the floor and beat 75% of the NBA. That's just the reality of talent versus lesser talent. But remember the old adage, and this is where coaching plays a part of it too, is pushing yourself beyond that, because hard work will always beat talent when talent doesn't work as hard. And that sounds like a cliche, but it's 150% true. The guy with less talent, if he works harder, he will beat the guy who's got all the talent. We've seen it time and time and time again. So that's going to be the key. How they come together down the stretch and what they do in the final few rounds when you're playing, whether it's Chicago, whether it's San Antonio, these couple of teams that have been together for a long enough time that they trust, because that's the thing, trust on the court. You know, San Antonio can make passes practically in the dark because everybody knows where everybody plays, where everybody's going to be. They play within the system. That's kind of my point there. So, going to be interesting to see how all that comes together. But I got a kick out of watch. I mean, look, it was exciting. That's cool. But it was not Game 7 of the NBA Finals. It was a couple of guys practicing against each other and fired up the home crowd. It was still cool to see 17,000 cats come on down and check out a practice, man. We're talking about practice. Here's what's funny, though. If you get excited about the Browns in training camp, or even now, if you go, man, I'm excited. I think the Browns are going to have a good season. People are like, it's been 3 games, man. You can't say that. You got to be sitting back and see what they do the whole season first. If it's the Indians, you're not allowed to get excited about the Indians until like September 13th or something like that. Anything before that, and there's too much season to go. But you're allowed to proclaim the Cavaliers the greatest. You could have done that 3 weeks ago. I love it. I'm like, wait a minute. Now, come on. Don't we got to play these games out too? It's going to be fun to watch, but come on. Don't they got to play the games too? I mean, trust me. Like I said, hard work will beat talent when talent doesn't work hard. Not that I think these guys won't work hard. I'm just saying. But I get a kick out of that because Indians and Browns, oh, Lord forbid that you think those guys are going to have a good season anytime before there's like 3 games left in the season, you know. But the Cavs have already got this thing in the bag, man. I love it, though. Hey, I love the crowd. I love the enthusiasm. Whew, do I love that, man. Cleveland definitely waits long enough to get some stuff to cheer for that I have no problem when they get something that makes them happy. All right, I'm way up against it. Taking a break. Coming right back. Kendall Lewis, the BSK. He's on the line. He's coming next. Let's segue. Talk some Browns and Titans. It could be looked at as a trap game for either team because the Browns may be licking their chops, but the Titans are looking at the Browns and going, hey, we can beat these guys. Somebody's going to push, and somebody's going to shove, and somebody's going to win, and somebody's going to lose. Let's talk about it with the BSK Kendall Lewis coming up next here on the Sports Fix.
Give nobody no kind of slack. When Dr. J shook the whole damn team with moves that came right out of a dream. A win with a dream stood so tall, playing deep with desire.
Public service announcement from the Sports Fix. We here at the Sports Fix and our affiliates would like to apologize for any disturbing verbal actions, but remember, it's better having them trapped in a box than loose on the streets. Public service announcement from the Sports Fix. The Sports Fix, the sports show that cares.
Hey, Sports Fix fans, I'm Fred McLeod, TV voice of the Cavaliers. When I'm not busy taking elbows from my buddy Austin Carr, I'm tuning in to see what the guys are saying.
Come on, Cavs!
I'm Pro Football Hall of Famer Paul Warfield. There's just one place where students are students first and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports help young people become confident leaders and role models and use the skills developed today to do even bigger things in life tomorrow. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Football season is party season at Harry Buffalo North Olmsted. Everyone wins at Harry Buffalo. Every Saturday is Coors Light College Football Saturday with $6 pitchers, 4 bottles for $10, and the Buckeyes in full HD. Football season is most definitely party season, and your headquarters is Harry Buffalo North Olmsted all winter long. Harry Buffalo, join the herd. Sports Fix listeners, like us on Facebook today. Facebook.com/The Sports Fix. Have you gotten your copy of Cleveland's Finest yet? Highlighting the best moments, players, and media members in Cleveland sports history?
He won it! Elo hit a three-pointer on the sideline!
In-depth personal interviews with some of the top names in Cleveland sports fill the pages of this incredible book. Cleveland's Finest by Vince McKee is this year's must-have book for every Cleveland sports fan. Available now at Amazon.com. Get your copy today. Portions of the Sports Fix brought to you by Quick Lane at Valley Ford Truck, home of the low price tire guarantee. QuickLane.com/Valley Ford Truck.
You're listening to the Sports Fix.
Welcome back to the Sports Fix Live across the Sports Fix Radio Network. J-Rock back with you guys as we roll on. Going to be joined in just a moment by the BSK Kendall Lewis here as we get ready to segue into some Browns conversation. Browns had a bye week last week, early in the season. Some people like it, some people don't. Now, Brian Hoyer was talking about that, man. He said now, we weren't really needing a rest, but now we got 13 in a row. He goes, that's more than college. Even college, you get the bye thrown in there somewhere, playing the 12 games in 13 weeks. But, you big boys, you get paid a whole lot of money to do it. But that's the disadvantage side of it. To me, the other side, it's early to have the bye. Regardless, you had it. You couldn't control where it was scheduled. And now you come out of that and you come on the other side. You got a Tennessee Titans team that is just really desperate here for something. And obviously, on top of that, here they've had some issues with their quarterback. And, meanwhile, I got songs playing in the background. There we go. They've got issues with the quarterback here. It looks like Jake Locker is going to be back in there this week. I'm not 100% sure of that. But, and as Coach said, there's not a whole lot of difference between the two, except for you got a little bit more of the running when you look at the at Jake Locker aspect of it. But we'll get into that here. Either way, just like Browns fans are going, man, all right, man, the next 5 weeks, 4-16, man, you should beat the Titans. You should beat this team. They're looking at the Browns. And I don't care how much improved I think, you think, we all think that the Browns are in the early part of this season. Hey, man, they've won 3 road games in 3 years. It's been over a year since the last one you won, and Coach laid it out point blank. And I like this because he doesn't pussyfoot around certain expressions. He says, hey, man, if you're another team and the Browns are on your schedule with our recent and less than recent history, I wouldn't blame you if you penciled that in as a victory too, because that's what our history has earned us. And until we beat teams and beat them on the road, that's what we're going to get. Phone lines aren't open because Kendall Lewis is on them. You can hit us, facebook.com/thesportsfix. Tweet with us at thesportsfix, CLE. Email us, thesportsfix@AOL.com. Kendall Lewis, the BSK, on the phone lines. Let's jump in right there. Kendall, how you doing?
All right, how are you?
I'm all right, my man. I'm sitting here. We always talking a little Cavalier. Real quick, did you get a chance to see, before we even get into the Browns, did you see the Cavaliers, any of that scrimmage last night?
No, I don't start watching until it becomes real.
Thank you. I'm with you. But I did dig the fact that, man, the line was around the queue. I will say that about 5 of them started. The line was wrapped around the building. I said, man, they were fired up. And I did not watch the whole beginning to end. I watched, the first half of it, and then I bounced around on the on-demand feed later and watched some of the other plays. But the crowd, that's amazing for 10 guys practicing against each other. You know what I mean? And 17,000, bro.
My optimistic appraisal of the situation is there's a lot of excitement about the Cavaliers. My more real is there are a lot of front runners. Where were these guys the last 4 years? If they're Cavalier fans, they're with the Cavaliers no matter who plays for them, because whoever plays for them only has a limited shelf life. So enjoy the team whenever you get a chance to. But because LeBron James, now they all of a sudden are big Cavaliers fans, it's like the people I used to talk to in the 2000s and early 2000s that said, well, I was with the Indians back in 1975. Yes, a lie. You wasn't with the Indians.
No, you were not.
You were with the Indians when the Indians got Bell and Baerga and that whole crew, but you weren't with the Indians in 75. I was going down there in 75 and 74 and 73 and 69 and whatever with my father to Bat Day and Hot Dog Day and Pennant Day and T-shirt Day and Helmet Day, Cap Day, all that. But I wasn't there necessarily saying I'm a huge Indians fan. So I think I just think that sometimes fans, which means fanatic, lose perspective on what's real even to them. And of course, like I said, my rather optimistic appraisal of it is that you're owed that. I mean, you deserve that. But me, I can't allow myself to be there. And it sounds like I'm anti-fan, and I'm not. But what I'm saying is, don't tell me your excitement is about the Cavaliers, the auspice, when it's about LeBron James, Kevin Love, and your view that the East is weaker, so therefore the Cavaliers will win, because the true sports fan are Cavaliers NBA basketball fans, regardless of who plays. They're fans in 2014, they're fans in 84, they're fans in 94. It doesn't matter. They're fans of the entire sport, and I appreciate that type of love of the game, not necessarily of a particular player. Tell you a quick story before I get started.
Yeah.
My mother used to always say to me, I remember in 1969, I was a little boy, and the Cleveland Browns played the Minnesota Vikings, and the Vikings at that time, if you didn't know, we don't have a team like the Vikings now, J-Rod. Haven't had one, I don't know, in 30 years, since the Steelers. We haven't had one like them. I mean, leading offense in the NFL, leading defense in the NFL, you had the sense of impending doom whenever you played them. Them, the Colts, the Rams, all of those teams. But we don't have anything like that now. Anyway, they played the Browns, and I was a diehard Browns fan, little boy. And they beat the Browns, I don't know, 63-7 or 65-7. Or I literally cried. I was uncontrollable, inconsolate. You couldn't tell me anything to make me feel better